Hi everyone, my name is Arina and welcome to my channel. In this video, I want to talk about the books that I read in January. Actually, in the first 5 weeks of this year. It was a bit more than 1 month, but I still wanted to pile them all up together and share my opinions with you and recommend some for you. This month was a bit less productive for me in terms of reading, but this is if I compare it to the previous year, because last year I set a goal for myself to read 100 books, and this is why I had a specific number to read each month, and it was 8 books last year. This time I don't really have that goal, and I took it easier. But still, I read some great books, and I really wanted to share my impressions, so let's begin. I'm going to start with the book that I liked the least and work my way up to the best one. The expansion project was probably my least favorite book out of these, but it's because I really had different expectations. This is a story about a man who works a corporate job, and one day he brings his daughter to work because he thinks it's a bring your daughter to work day. But then the girl disappears and no one has even heard of that day. So he tries to find his daughter in this huge building where no one knows the girl. Sounds a lot like Severance, and it actually mentions here in the reviews that it sounds and feels like Severance, and I love that TV show, but it's nice to watch something like this when it's written in this really weird way. I didn't really enjoy it. There were a lot of characters who did these interviews about the expansion project, which is something, I'm not even sure what it is. It's like the whole world becomes this office and everyone kind of lives there and it all glitches and stuff. There's basically this person who goes through archives and listens to interviews and watches old security footage, trying to understand what happened. But I don't know, there's no answer in the end. I don't feel like it gave this secret a nice ending. It depends on how you understand the end. I didn't really get it that much. I expected more. So this is why I wasn't really a fan of the book, and this is why I put it in the last place. I really regret to admit that I didn't like Katabasis, whatever the name is, because I had high hopes for this book. Because I really like R.F.Kuang, the author. I read Yellowface, I loved that book. So I had high hopes for this one. And it's long. I don't like such big books, but I gave it a chance. This is a story about 2 postgraduate students who go to hell to retrieve their professor's soul. The whole book, I could not relate to them at all. This motivation did not make sense to me. Because to go to hell, and it's not a spoiler, it's in the first chapter, to go to hell, you give up half of your lifetime. And they go and do all of this, they risk their lives for their professor, whom they don't really like. Like, it unravels. Their relationship is complicated with the professor. They admire him, but it's not like it's not a very good person, and it's quite clear from the beginning. They are curious, I'll give them that. Perhaps this is just something I can't understand because I'm not a part of the academia. I was at a university at some point. Like, I attended a university. Never once in my life would I go to such lengths to retrieve a person from hell, the person I don't even like. And their premise is that they won't graduate and won't get as highly admired in academia if that professor is not working with them. It just seems really weird to me. Like, I could not understand the motivation the whole time. Even when the story unravels and we get some background and their backstory, I could just not understand why they were doing what they were doing. Guess what the hell looks like? Cambridge. I don't know. And it wasn't, to me, an interesting depiction of hell. I think you can just interpret it in any way you want and never get tired of it. Like literature and art in general like to play with the idea of going to the underworld. In this book, I don't think it was something new or something interesting. I can understand the ways of this world. Perhaps it's on me. And also, I'll say it has a lot of philosophical ideas and a lot of mathematics, which is probably again on me that I couldn't dive deep and understand what was actually happening, but I feel like I did. I feel like I understood a lot of what the author wanted to say, but it just felt really off to me. It felt like a lot of useless things and a lot of pointless actions. Like, this is what it felt to me. I'm sad that I didn't like it as much as I hoped I would. But can you tell I have a lot of feelings from this book? Like I've been waiting to film this video because I just wanted to rant about how difficult it was to read it. Difficult in terms of boring for me. The next book I'm going to talk about is called Whalefall. The reason why I picked this book was because of the cover. I saw a whale and I love whales. And when I read the annotation, I was like, this is really interesting, I want to read it. This is about a diver who is eaten by a whale, a sperm whale, while he was searching for his father's remain in the ocean. Sounds interesting, doesn't it? And because it's a diver, he has this air, what's it called? He has some air device. He has air left, but only for 1 hour, I think. Yeah, he has like oxygen. And this is the problem of the book. It had a lot of diving terminology. It was really technical at some points. A lot of the first chapters are about just diving and what it feels like, what you need to have, like your gear. So if you're interested in this, if you have any experience in that, I guess that would be more interesting for you. The whole story is basically about this young man. His father was a professional diver. They had a complicated relationship. That father put a lot of pressure on his son. He died in the ocean. This guy wants to go and find his father's remains to kind of put an end to that chapter, but he ends up getting eaten by a whale and kind of works through his trauma in the stomach of the whale. A classic Pinocchio story. What I loved about this book were the facts about the marine life. And a lot of the time when I was reading, I read a fact and I had to Google it to make sure it's even true because it felt like it was made up. So to me, it's a story about how majestic the nature is and the ocean specifically. And of course, it's about family relationships. I think there is a movie being made based on that book, and I would definitely watch it. Sometimes I couldn't really visualize a lot of the moments, so seeing that in the movie would be great. The next book I'm going to talk about is a thriller called Rock, Paper, Scissors. Actually, I think I'll put Whalefall above that one because Rock, Paper, Scissors was a really interesting thriller. Like it was fun, but in the end, again, it was a bit slow paced. I didn't see the twist coming. It was a surprise for me. I kind of had a feeling that something like that would happen, but I wasn't sure. That book is about a couple, a married couple, who go on vacation to Scotland and try to mend their marriage. It is their last attempt to save their marriage. They go to an abandoned church in Scotland in a thunderstorm. Classic thriller setting. So they are stuck in that church and it seems like there is someone else in there. I've been thinking about what this book was about, like what's the point of it? What was the author trying to say? And I struggled to articulate it because I'm not sure what was the whole point. It is about marriage, and I guess about how important it is to communicate in the marriage and how secrets affect relationships. I think it's just a good thriller that you can read when you go on vacation. I wouldn't say there is something very special about it. It's a good read. I enjoyed it towards the end, but I also read another thriller, and that one is called Julie Chan is Dead. Actually, I think I'll put Whalefall above that one as well. It's a story about a girl who finds her twin sister dead, and they were separated in their childhood because their parents died and they were adopted by different families. So the girl who died became an influencer, a rich, beautiful, really famous influencer. And the girl who finds the dead body works as a shop assistant. She is kind of unhappy and jealous a little of her twin sister. So when she finds her dad, she decides this is her chance to take over her twin's life. So she becomes the influencer and she kind of pretends to be the dead girl. I love the stories about twins, and when I heard about it, I was really interested because I love the stories about twins, all the storylines with people pretending to be someone else, and it's about social media. It's about this world of influencers and how a lot of the times it's just lies. Is it even worth it to be in that world when a lot of it is just fake? The second part of the book just became a bit unnecessary. I don't even know how to describe it. There was a sort of like a cult, I guess what social media can be sometimes. It was just quite random. I thought this would be a girl solving a murder of her twin, but yeah, it wasn't like that. It was just about her taking over her twin's life and not really caring much about what actually happened. The ending was really predictable. I think you understand what actually happened, or at least which direction the book is going to go quite early on. Maybe I'll even put it below Rock, Paper, Scissors. No, actually, I take it back. Julie Chen is Dead is a better thriller than Rock, Paper, Scissors, I think. Just because it was about social media, and it's interesting to see how that is portrayed in book. And the best book I read that month was Legends and Lattes, which I did not expect at all. This book is about an orc who decides to hang up her sword and start a business, open a coffee shop in a city. This is a magical world where there are elves and orcs and gnomes and just different creatures like that, and they've never heard of coffee. I wasn't sure if I'm going to like it because I don't read fantasy as often, and it kind of seemed a bit childish to me, but I loved it a lot because it was just a really comforting read. Here on the cover, it says there is high fantasy, low stakes, good company. These three phrases describe the book perfectly. It's been a while, if ever, that I read a book where I didn't need to feel nervous or I didn't have any anxiety about what would happen with the characters. Not that I didn't care about them, but I knew that everything would be going well. There weren't really any big fights or blood or killings or anything like that. It's about changing your life and starting something new, starting something that you believe in, and attracting people who believe the same thing, who wanted to create something with you. I didn't need to worry, I wasn't at the edge of my seat. The first couple of chapters are about actually building the coffee shop. So I was like, I'm not sure if I like it. But then once they started building the business, it became really interesting because no one there knows what a latte is, and like how they describe it, it's so fun. And they make cinnamon rolls and everyone becomes obsessed with them, but they don't call them cinnamon rolls or croissants or something like this. This is our language and they use their own. They kind of describe this pastry and the coffee in their own ways because it's just kind of like a medieval fantastical world. As a coffee lover, I enjoyed it a lot. So I recommend it a lot for anyone who is tired of problems in the real world and kind of wants to escape but not be overstimulated. It's honestly slow paced, interesting, about coffee, friendship, about what it means to be a good person, whether your past defines your present, and about building something from scratch, about having an idea and being really passionate about it, that you bring it into the world and the world follows. I heard there is a second book, and I think it's about a bookshop. I honestly can't wait to get it and continue this story. It's a good read for some cozy evenings. This was it. So, to sum up, in the last place, we have the expansion project for Severance lovers. If you don't really enjoy intersecting timelines, maybe it's not for you. Then I'm going to put Katabasis, whatever the name, I'm not going to say it, whatever the name is, because it was a bit too illogical for me. I couldn't relate to the characters, and not that you have to all the time, but just their actions were pointless to me. I couldn't understand the logic behind the world, so I couldn't really be emotionally invested into this book, unfortunately. Then I'm actually going to put two thrillers, Rock, Paper, Scissors, and then Julie Chen is Dead. They're both good thrillers, but they were missing something. Then Whalefall. Even though it took me a while to get into it, I really like the idea. I think it's original, it's creative, and it's about the marine world, about diving and your relationship with your father and your family in general, and how it feels like you can't breathe when there is too much pressure put on you. And in the first place, we have Legends and Lattes. It's a popular book. I'm sure you've seen it somewhere. But if you haven't read it and you're looking for something truly cozy, and if you're a coffee lover, then I recommend this one. Looking back at the books, there are no 5-star reads. I mean, I guess Legends and Lattes is. Like, I will give it 5 stars because I liked it, but will it be the best book for me this year? Hopefully not. I hope something better will come my way. I loved how I felt while reading it. It's definitely a good book. All the other ones are fine, but they didn't really touch me in the way I want literature to. So I'm on the lookout for new good books. It's been a while since I had that 5-star read, the one that would grip me and hold me and would stay with me after a while. Hopefully in February I'm going to get that feeling. We'll see. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Maybe you saw a book that you're interested in. Genuinely, I recommend all of them. It's not a waste of time, for sure. So if you heard something that sparked your interest, go for it. And please leave a comment about the best book you read in the first month of 2026. Thank you very much for watching. Please like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you next time. Bye!